So there are lots of games that we play on the lawn, which are kind of standard. So throwing a ball, bat and ball, playing a bit of tennis. But how about creating your very own lawn games? And they really have become incredibly popular. But you can make your own, and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. In fact, these guys are super cost effective, and they're going to keep you and the family entertained for hours. This one in particular, because this is noughts and crosses on steroids. Bigger, bolder, and it'll keep you going for a really long time. Most importantly, you need a bit of practice so that you can get ahead of your opponent. Guys, let me show you how easy it is to make this noughts and crosses that I know you're going to love. Alrighty guys, so you've seen the beautiful lawn game. Let's show you how to make it. Nice and simple, bit of paint work, get your artistic flair going. If you don't have it, just dig a bit deeper. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go through what we're gonna need. We need 9 pieces of board, and we've just used some plywood here. I mean, it's literally just some offcuts. You can also go to your local hardware store, and of course they can cut it for you. Make life a whole lot simpler. These are 100 by 100. Right, and we've got 9 of them. So there, those guys, those of course are our blocks that the noughts and the crosses are going to go on. And then we've got our baseboard here, which is 300 by 300. Also just some offcuts of some plywood. First thing we need to do is just give them a light sand to get off all those edges and burrs so that nobody damages or injures themselves whilst playing some noughts and crosses. Although I can't deny that it could get heated. There we go. That was the hard part. So let's get this guy over here. This is our base. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose 2 different colors. So one for the base, and that as well is then going to go on here. So that's going to be our base color. When we turn them over, we're going to have the other color. My base color that I'm going to be using is white. It's a simple acrylic paint. You don't need a large paintbrush for this. Open this baby up and let's give it a quick coat. Once we've painted the base of our larger block, same color on one side of all our smaller blocks. After a few minutes, your coats are really they touch to dry. It dries very quickly, this paint, which is a major added advantage, especially if you've got ADHDEF, which in my case is quite a probable. So let's take these little guys, pop them here. Now we're going to add a little bit of, what do they call it? Pizzazz, flair to our noughts and crosses. We've got a little stencil. Choose whatever you want. Just make sure that the size is appropriate and fits on there. This is where we're going to use our other color. So here I'm going with a beautiful blue, and we're going to take a different paintbrush, just a spare piece of wood. And why we're going to do that is because we're going to take a little bit of the paint, just like that, just almost dry it off a bit, because you don't want it too wet on here, else it's going to be a complete mess. So position your little guy there, and then off you go over the stencil. This is quite fun. Ha! And the more you practice, the better you get. First one, last one. Can you see the difference? Okay, right, by the time you finished your last one, the first one should have been dry because it dries really quickly. Put your stencil to one side, including your spare piece of wood, and then we can turn this guy over and we can then paint it with the same color, which is the blue that we used a bit earlier. Right, once this guy's done, just take him, put him aside, and then you're going to apply the same color to the underside of our little squares. Right, the blue has all been done. This guy will be dry And now what we want to do is just mark out exactly where our blocks are going to go. This is a really easy process, guys. Just take a ruler, pop it on the edge here, and what we want is 10 centimeter divisions. So right over there, let's make a mark, 10 centimeters. There we go. And another 10. And you want to do that on all 4 sides so that we can get our lines nice and straight. Once you've made your marks, then all you do is take a permanent Koki, make sure that they're lining up. And exactly the same on the next one. Right, pop that onto one side, and then we've got our 9 blocks. We want 5 in the one group and 4 in the other group, and this is where we use a little thing of Tipp-Ex. You know, the one with the point? You see with the metal point over there? So we want either 5 crosses and 4 noughts, or 4 noughts and 4 crosses. Did I get that right? You know what I mean. So here we go. And we're going to do crosses on these guys. So nice and simple. Down you go. And there are crosses. And just allow that to dry a little bit. And then our game is nearly good to go. And there we have our quite decorative noughts and crosses board, guys. Nice and easy, very, very simple to do with a little bit of fun involved, which is always really important. And the rest is left to you and your family to have a game.